What's good, YouTube? A couple things I'd like to address before we get into today's video. Obviously, there's a very different sort of content for us to be making on the channel. Up until now, we've basically been exclusively focused on Edison and Retro, and I don't plan on changing that main focus of the channel overnight or anything. If you're one of my regular viewers who's only here for the Edison, there's still going to be plenty of Edison, so don't worry about that. You don't have to watch this sort of content. It's just, I've made like 800 Edison videos straight, and I would like to kind of branch out and experiment with some other types of content, because, yeah, I don't want to get too rigid and stale over here. But yeah, also I'd like to talk a little bit about the upload schedule. Obviously, we've gotten very sparse lately. Yeah, that's basically because real life's just been insane. I've been working insane hours with my job, and also I'm going to be moving soon. But I think after we get moved and get started on our new job, we should go back to normal hours, and we can kind of return to a more frequent upload schedule. Maybe not as crazy as it once was, because we were on that daily grind for a while. But we could get back to 3-4 times a week, I think. So just wanted to, I'm sure a lot of you have noticed that, so I just wanted to address that really quick. But yeah, we're going to be doing a video on my experience playing Master Duel lately. Not my first time playing Master Duel. I think I actually installed this game like a year ago. I was playing during tier format. But I'm still very much of a novice to modern Yu-Gi-Oh! And kind of learning. So you're going to have to bear with me on that front. But I'm trying to get good. I kind of want to get good, even though it's a very different type of gameplay. I understand a lot of people don't like it. I can definitely see why a lot of people don't like it, but I'm capable of enjoying it. So I would like to learn, and I'm going to try to be learning here. But yeah, let's get into the video. As always, we're going to be starting off with the deck profile. You're going to have to bear with me. My UI is kind of weird because I'm playing this game on Mac, and we had to do some weird stuff to be able to accomplish that because for some reason there's no version available. But anyway, the deck we're playing, Superheavy Samurai. Definitely very much my style of modern deck. I really enjoy these combo piles and just like special summon a lot, you know, make a big field. But yeah, Superheavy Samurais, let's go over the deck profile. So the main Superheavy Samurai engine we'll be going over first. Obviously, we're playing 3 of the Motorbike. This is the card that just searches everything. It's a Rota for all your Superheavy Samurais. You got to play 3. It's really strong. The key card of the deck, well, there's 2 key cards of the deck, really. There's Soul Piercer, the limited card, which, yeah, just gives you, like, endless searches. There's no once per turn on this thing for some reason. I don't know what they were thinking. But, yeah, really good. You got to get to this thing. And then Wakushi, of course, absolutely insane. It's a 1-card anything. Wakushi by itself goes into, like, Baron de Fleur, and then also goes into Auxilla on top of that. And then Auxilla, which is the level 12 Centurion Synchro, will search stand up, and then stand up lets you do additional plays on top of that. Depending on, you know, what was in your hand on top of the Wakushi. But Wakushi by itself is always just like full combo in every version of this deck. So it's really all about just getting to this guy, because this guy, Wakushi, also just gets you to Soul Piercer too. So that's really what it's all about in here. And then the other Superheavy Samurais that we're playing, of course, Wagon. Wagon is a searcher. Basically changes itself from defense to attack to search card. Okay, and then we play 3 of the Big Benkei because you need another Pendulum to go with Wakushi. And this one also searches Soul Piercer, and Soul Piercer searches everything. And then the other, like, pseudo starter is Peacemaker. Peacemaker is it's a way of converting your Scarecrow as well, which is the really powerful Link 1 that this deck has, but you can't link off of with it, so you have to equip it with Soul Piercer and then tribute it off to get something from the deck. Basically, Benkei and Soul Piercer are like the sort of pseudo starters, and then the really good starters are like the 10 cards. 3 Motorbike, 3 Wakushi, 3 Wagon, and the Soul Piercer. And then the other one we have is Scales, because Scales is another way to just get a +1. It brings one back from the graveyard. So yeah, you can search it like a billion different ways. So that's a super heavy core. And then, like I said, we're also playing this very small, very minimal Centurion package on top of that, because the super heavy engine has this neat synergy where it just like goes naturally into your Centurion plays on top of just like doing some crazy super heavy stuff. So yeah, the Centurions that we are playing are 1 Primera, we're playing 1 Trudea, and we're playing 1 Gargoyle, and then we're playing the Trap, along with 3 Field Spell. The Field Spell is neat because it just gives you additional starters that don't eat your normal summon, because yeah, it helps play into disruptions. Basically, you can just like do some stuff. You can bait stuff with this, or you can do some stuff, then slap down the stand up, and then start going into some Centurion plays. Obviously, you can just search this off of your main combo line as well. So it's pretty neat. Oh yeah, we are also playing Soul Guide, and go over that. I felt like I wanted one more super heavy in here, and it was just like the next best option because there's another super heavy samurai soul name that you can search off of the Benkei and the wagon, and then also you can use it to kind of extend your plays a little bit depending on the situation. So maybe I could potentially see going back to playing 2 Primera, because usually what people do with the super minimal version is 2 Primera plus everything else. I've just been feeling all right with the 1, but I could definitely see going back to the 2. It wouldn't be crazy to me to do that. So yeah, very minimal Centurion package, and then just a bunch of hand traps, basically. Of course, you're always going to be very hand trap heavy and super heavies because you can't play spell traps, so most of your non-engine just has to exist in the form of hand traps. We're playing the Gamma package. Gamma's just insanely strong in the current meta. I mean, Monster Negate plus just like Divine Wrath, it's actually crazy. Gamma's so good. Valor, I think, is a really strong hand trap right now. I think Valor and Inperm are very powerful. They're a lot better than... what's it called, than Ash. You kind of just have to play Ash because Maxi exists, I think. I mean, if you're playing a very hand trap heavy deck like this, I would definitely recommend playing Ash, but I think it's just usually inferior to stuff like Impermanent Valor, but you just have to play it to stop Maxi because Maxi exists in this game. And I could make a whole video about how much I hate Maxi, but I think everything that needs to be said about Maxi has been said. So we're not going to complain too much about it here. We're on 2 Ghost Ogre just because Tenpai exists. It's like decent against Tenpai. Tenpai is just like highly does not give a shit about hand traps in general usually, and this is one of the few that's actually decent against them, unfortunately. They don't really care about Maxis or Valors or Imperms because their field spell and their level 10 synchro just make it so you can't interact with their cards, which is really annoying. Deck is super obnoxious. We do have 1 Nib as well. I don't think Nib is particularly great right now, but having 1 to just draw off of Maxi if the opponent's taken the challenge, I think is like okay. And like I said, this is a very hand trap heavy build, so if we want to throw into some extra stuff, I think having 1 Nib is fine. I think we've pretty much gone over the main at this point. Let's get into the extra. Minimal Centurion stuff. We're just playing 1 of each of the level 12s. We're playing 2 level 12s to go into off of the Crimson Dragon, which are the Blazar Dragon, of course, the best one. And then the secondary one is Cypher Divine, which on top of being cheaper than like Red Supernova and stuff, I think might just straight up actually be better in the Tenpai meta, because the destruction protection for everything is insane against them. Like they just have to draw like a way to negate this or something, because it is so annoying for them to deal with having to destroy everything twice. They just like can't do it. It's really difficult for them. And then 1 Dispotter just to have a 10 to go into off of the Crimson Dragon. I think you kind of gotta have it. We don't use it too much in here, obviously, because we don't play the Bestial stuff. But you can go into it also off of Excel Stardust. So, I mean, it comes up. There's ways to make it. It's a good level 10. Baron de Fleur, obviously, like the best synchro in the game, I think, maybe. Just really strong Omni Negate and a pop, and it can tag into stuff. It just does so much. We also have these 2, like, Synchro Climb guys, which are the Train. The Train lets you summon out a Wakushi from your extra deck after you sync off with it. So basically just a Synchro Climb from level 8 to level 12. This thing can also Synchro Climb from level 8 to level 12, but it can also Synchro Climb from level 8 to level 10. So generally we use this to crap out Baron, usually, and then we go into the Train, and then the Train brings out the Wakushi, and then you Synchro 12 into the Auxilla, and the Auxilla gets you into your stand-up, and you go for your Centurion plays. Then the final extra deck cards are... Well, we didn't go over the Links and the Exceeds yet. The final Synchro we're playing is Saratobi. I'm only playing this because it is all right against Tenpai to stop the field spell. And then, like, against Tenpai also, if you get disrupted, like, too many times or something, you can use Wakushi's other effect to special a Super Heavy Samurai from the deck, but then you get locked into Super Heavies. So you kind of got to go have something to go into off of that to have a potential disruption. So you can just maybe go into Saratobi and then, like, try to cope with whatever hand traps you have on top of that. So yeah, outside of the Tenpai meta, I don't necessarily think I would go with this, but yeah, obviously everything's very warped around that right now. Then a couple of rank 4s. We just have 1 Dweller and 1 Taper Baguska, you know. I think they're both decent to have, just like the Omega Floodgates that come up in situations. We have 1 Scarecrow, of course. Scarecrow's really good, obviously. And then IP and Little Knight. I think Little Knight you obviously got to play. You don't necessarily got to play IP. I think it's good against Tenpai, though, to be able to end on this and then banish their field spell or something with the Little Knight. But maybe you could replace this. I think I would pretty much always play the Little Knight. Little Knight's just such an insane extra deck card. Pretty much every extra deck plays it. But yeah, that's the main deck. I don't claim to be some kind of expert deck builder in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Maybe in Edison I have some cred on that front. But in Modern, I'm still very much a novice, obviously. But we've done pretty well with this deck. We managed to get to Master 1, and, you know, maybe we'll get on that grind, try to make top 5% still in this rated period. You never know. I might make a follow-up video. But yeah, I think at this point we can go ahead and we can jump into the replays. Oh yeah, just in case there's any doubters, yeah, here's proof that we have actually made it to Master 1. I don't know who would doubt that, actually. It's not very difficult to climb. It's mostly just a matter of grinding. But yeah, here we are. Alright, first replay we've got is going to be going first against TENPAI, I think. Probably a lot of these are going first against TENPAI, because it's just the super popular thing in the meta right now. Unfortunately, they just released it, and it's this like toxic going second OTK thing that's like very uninteractive and annoying, but very popular right now. And they play lots of hand traps and board breakers and just like choose to go second and try to kill you. Fortunately, we drew an insane hand this game. Just like multiple starters here. We eat an Ash and a Maxi, but that's all. We stopped the Maxi, so we're basically good to go. The Ash doesn't matter. We have multiple ways of playing through stuff like that. So we're going to summon out the wagon, get a search. We already just have the Soul Piercer because we're that good. And then we're kind of going for the standard combo line. Usually, Wakaushi is just like a one-card Baron to Floor plus the Centurion level 12 guy whose name escapes me. What's he called? Dang, I always forget their names. But yeah, that's the one that gets the search. What is it? Auxilla. That's the one. Okay, it came to me. There we go. And there we see the Auxilla coming down. So then that's going to let us get into additional Centurion plays here. We get out this Trudea. Trudea gets the Primera, the tuner. We get the search for the trap. And then we can make, I think, an additional level 12. Probably just go for the Crimson Dragon. And then that can go into either Blazar or Cypher Divine Dragon, which I probably talked about a little bit in the deck profile here. But yeah, Cypher Divine is really good in this matchup because they love to play like Lightning Storms and Feather Duster and stuff to try and clear all your stuff. And just having every card indestructible once is actually super obnoxious for them. They don't have a lot of in-engine outs. They need like an in-perm or a droplets really to deal with this card efficiently. So I do decide to negate the Maxi, since Maxi on their turn can be kind of annoying, since we want to use the Centurion guys into Crimson Dragon, into Blazar. That's like 4 right there. So we'd be giving them way too many draws. I decided to just negate in the draw phase. I used the Baron, which maybe I could have just Cypher Divine Dragon negated this, but using Baron in the draw phase lets you go for the tag out effect and potentially get additional value there. But it would have also been nice to keep the Omni Negate, because he does have the field spell. And the field spell is really annoying. It makes all of their stuff just unaffected by everything. It's so dumb. And it also is just a free search. Too. They don't even have to like discard first. They like discard after or something. The field spells are ridiculous. This card needs to be like banned or something. It's super silly. But yeah, we do the play that I said. We go into the Blazar Dragon. So we got another Omni Negate. And even under the field spell, we could still negate summons with the Blazar Dragon, since they have to control the monster for it to be unaffected by everything. So that's what we do. We just negate his summon, and then I think he's got... Yeah, now he can get the search, but we still have the monster negate with the Cypher Divine Dragon, which is a negate and a pop one on the field. So we can negate that and then pop his field spell. So yeah, it's just... Yeah, completely Jover. We pretty much demolished that one. They only had 2 disruptions, and we had a really good hand. So, yeah. Okay, this match we are going second into, I think, some kind of 60-card monstrosity. I mean, that's kind of the meta right now, with TENPAI being just everywhere. Is you're either playing TENPAI or you're just playing some like obnoxious going first turbo hate pile. It's either like 60 card going first turbo, just like all gas, and or it's like trap card floodgate going first turbo. Those are like the variants of going first turbo that are out there at the moment. The opponent's hand kind of weak. They seem to be playing. I think they're playing Danger PK. 60 card with the Horus Engine. I don't know, just like 60 card Phantom Knight something, or Phantom Knight Burning Abyss. There's like a PK card here, and I think they go for Bardiche, which I actually can't Ash Bardiche because it sends for cost, so that's a little bit annoying. I could have Ashed the what is this, the Graph. I maybe should have Ashed the Graph. I mean, we have enough hand traps anyway to stop them. We have double Veiler Ash, and their opening hand wasn't too insane. So I think we are going to be able to stop them. Yeah, they just end up going Little Knight Pass. And we have a starter, which they don't have like an Ash to stop this. I think I decided to just go summon the Primera and then crash in the Little Knight, because then we can just play without having to worry about this banish. So I think, yeah, main phase 2 is when we start going. So we got the Wakaushi. The Okushi is going to go for the Benkei. Benkei gets the search for the good one. The good one's going to attach, and we also have the stand-up that we got off the Primera. So we're in a really good spot here. We can go straight into the Augs. Oh, no, we go for Legatia here, because we want to just pop his guy, I guess. So we get add back, search, put in the Pendulum Scale, draw a card, pop his guy, plus ratio. We draw to a Veiler, not too useful. We just need to pop this King Sarcophagus so we can feel like we're in a very strong spot. Then he's not going to be reviving any Horus cards next turn. And I think that he does concede the game after we pop the thing with the Baron de Fleur. Yeah, because it's looking pretty over for him there. So we did well there. We had an alright hand going second. It wasn't anything crazy, though. It was just one starter and a couple of hand traps. But we managed to pull it out, unfortunately. Okay, so in this one, our opponent chose to go second, so we just absolutely know that it is the funny deck. It is going to be TENPAI. Luckily for us, we have Gamma, and they don't play around it. They just Ash the motorbike. So yeah, generally, usually, or at least very often, in like the rated duels in Master 1, people usually play around Gamma. Or at least, like, I feel like the majority of the time, people play around Gamma. They're usually good about that, but here he did not. He decided to just go for the Ash there, hoping that would stop me. And then because of that, we get, like, a free Baron de Fleur. So now he's really cooked, honestly. I don't even know if he has another Disruption. I feel like it would have been used. He might have Droplet or something, which is probably why he... Yeah, the fact that he hasn't conceded yet basically tells me at this point he's got like a Droplet or some kind of crazy board breaker. So we got to just try and make our board as ridiculous as possible. We go for the Train. The Train is so good in here. It lets you just climb and do Auxilla very easily through your normal super heavy lines. So now we're going to go. We get the Field Spell. We Pendulum Summon out and get both effects. Revive the Soul Piercer. Search the Trap card. Or no, we don't revive Soul Piercer. We decided we need another tuner. Okay, we go for this guy. This guy is... Well, I probably talked about why he's in here in the deck profile, but yeah, he's a decent disruption, and we think we're against TENPAI especially, so he can stop the Field Spell, which is really nice. Now we're going to go for another level 12 here. Going to the Crimson Dragon, probably just make probably Cypher Divine, just in case, like Raigeki, Dark Hole, whatever. Oh no, we go Blazar. Okay. I just decide I want as many negates, I guess, as possible. I guess Blazar forces them to preemptively Droplet, because if we chain Blazar, they can't chain Droplet on the Blazar since it tags itself out. And then we go for IP with the Auxilla. This was weird, actually. I decided to pitch the trap and then revive the Auxilla with the trap. But then it's like, that does make our board weaker to like a Forbidden Droplet. Because now we only have like one thing in our backlines. I guess they have to pitch like their whole hand, though. The thing that really sucks here is that they had the Gamma for our Max C, though. Because now I'm feeling like, well, we got to negate this, because just giving him a Baron play potentially is not good. So then he chains, and then chains Droplet, and I think he can negate our full field here. Or, yeah, he can negate 3 cards, so the IP, the Saratobi, and the Floor will all get negated. We do still have, of course, the Centurion cards in the back row, but I think here I'm kind of regretting doing that thing where I pitched the trap. So we can go for Cypher Divine, and I think it's basically impossible for them to out-Cypher Divine with just, like, Engine from this point. Or it's really hard. I don't know what they would have to do. Maybe if they play like Moonlight Rose Dragon or something, they could somehow do it. But it's like super obnoxious. And we got a ton of walls, so I'm not really worried about getting OTK'd. And then we negate this too, and yeah, okay, never mind. Cypher Divine, negate plus pop is just going to be enough to stop it. I don't know if there's anything he could have done there. But yeah, we ended on a pretty ignorant field. He only had the one disruption. He did have the Droplet, but we managed to pull through anyway. Okay, in this game, our opponent chose to go second, so we pretty much know what we're in for here. We go try to force out Ash Blossom. He does not use it, so we just summon. He has Maxi, but we do have the Ash Blossom this time. He actually did play around, well, sort of played around Gamma. I guess, you know, normally I would Wakaushi first, just to, like, make them play around Gamma, and then summon so they don't get as many Maxi draws, potentially, if we have to go Baguska Pass. But for some reason, I summoned Soul Piercer first here. But, yeah, I mean, you either have the out to the Maxi or you don't in situations like this, and we did have it. So we go for the Scarecrow. Scarecrow gets the Soul Peacemaker, and then we pitch Nib. Yeah, Nib, not a great going first card. We are going to eat an impermanence here, so hopefully he doesn't have also Ash. We're pretty sure he didn't have Ash. Usually Motorbike is a decent Ash check. There's not really a good point to Ash this deck if they have multiple starters. So like you either gotta hope that they only got the one, or just the Ash doesn't help too much. So we're gonna go into the Auxilla here, and yeah, do the same kind of pendulum summon play. Search the field spell, Synchro into Excel Stardust. I always call Excel Stardust Shooting Riser, so if I at any point in this video called it Shooting Riser, I apologize for that, by the way. Just a little note there. So we go for Baron, activate the field spell. I think we pitch the Maxi. He did choose to go second, right? So we know it's TENPAI. Maxi, not very good against TENPAI. Unfortunately, they're just highly unaffected by hand traps. And yeah, at this point, he does choose to concede. Okay, the final replay, we're going first against TENPAI, and I think this is one actually where we don't get disrupted. So no hand traps. You're just kind of going to see what a sort of standard turn one would look like in that case. Of course, I do like play around stuff here. Just go for the ASAP Baron when I could have been greedier. But I think whether you're greedy or not, I mean, when we're just doing full combo, we end on enough. I don't know. We can count like what the end board looks like. It's definitely pretty annoying. So we're going to go for all our plays here. Search, Synchro, get the train. The train gets out the Wakushi from our hand. We search for the Soul Gaia. We're now going into the Auxilla. The Auxilla searches the trap. We activate the stand-up, equip the Peacemaker. Peacemaker, get from the deck, get the Motorbike, Synchro 12, go Crimson Dragon. And then here I think we do make Cypher Divine. Usually if I suspect I'm against TENPAI, which this guy chose to go second, so I'm pretty sure he's playing TENPAI. Usually I'll go lead with Cypher Divine, and then we just go into Blazar in this turn. So here's the end board. We have what? We can go into Blazar in their turn. Okay, that's an Omni Negate for just like anything ever, just like Solemn Judgment, whatever. Everything on our field is indestructible once because of Cypher Divine Dragon, which is actually really good, especially in this matchup. And then we have a Monster Negate plus a Pop with the Cypher Divine Dragon. We have an Omnigate with the Baron. We have an Ash Blossom to negate a Search. And we have a Banish Anything with the Centurion Phalanx. But it is very strong. So they go for the Imperm, stop the Baron. So now they can try to activate the field spell. We can't negate it. I decided to just go straight for Blazar here, which... yeah, if you see the field spell, I think it's probably correct, just so we can, like, negate their summon. But he goes for the field spell Search, so then I just Blazar negate that, and then pop the field spell. But then, what do you know, he has a second field spell. I'm like, damn, alright, that's not great. But he can't Search with this one, right? Let me read this. What does it say? Can only use this effect once per turn. Yeah, so he can... I don't think he can Search with it. But then he tries to, like, bait out a negate with this Crow... But he forgets that Cypher can also pop, so then we just pop the second one with a Cypher Divine Dragon. He now has the Quick Play spell to try and Search, but we have Ash Blossom, and he's just going to concede at that point. I mean, we still had the Banish if he had like some last card in his hand that could somehow get something on the board. So yeah, that was kind of just an unobstructed turn one replay against TENPAI there. All right, well that's just going to about do it for today's video. As always, hope you guys enjoyed. If you're a regular viewer and you're more into Edison content, we'll be getting right back to more of that in the next video, so don't worry about it. But yeah, that's just about going to wrap it up. Let me know what you thought in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.